Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Furi.
There is no fate. We build our own destiny. Our man on the rocks, he knew a lot. He even figured out why you were sent to us. Look at the sky, he kept saying. The dot on the sun. But no one listened.
Today we move on from the prison island guarded by the line and move on to the scale in one of my favorite bogs of toxic sludge in games. They can really make it dazzle. While we're here, let's recap our controls. There's a sword slash, a dodge, a shoot, and a parry. And if you time that parry perfectly, it feels otherworldly. Years ago, I made a Tiny Voices video, a video essay about game feel, and Furi's perfect parries were featured in it as examples of some of the best game feel.
Take a good look, my friend. Years of evolution, culture, civilization, great intellect, wonders of nature. Bam! Wiped out in one single impact. One.
The first three of those things you can charge up. There's one extra thing that we'll see today, but that's it. Simple, but not easy. Not shallow.
I searched and searched. A solution, an answer, anything. Just some hope, that I could fix this, fix him, so my plan would be flawless. But I never found a thing.
Bioluminescence is just the best, and it looks even better when you can see it kind of dithering as the camera pulls out. It looks like sparkling plants. This is so gorgeous.
Sure, I could have stopped, rolled up in a ball and cried for the rest of my days. And left you frying on your rock. But I didn't.
Beautiful desolation. Beautiful putrefaction.
I don't know much about you. I've heard some bad stuff, and what I've seen, well... But we have one thing in common, you and I. We have nothing to lose. For every day we are locked away up here, we have nothing. We've lost. One thing about Fishface up there, he got, contaminated. I'm not sure he's got much to say. He probably can't even speak at all anymore. But if he does, just ignore the crazy babble.
You can kind of hear these moments where he doesn't sound entirely convinced of himself. Like in his attempts to hype you up or to convince you of something, it also sounds like he's trying to talk himself into the same idea. He's trying to force himself to believe something.
Look at the filth around you. Darkness. Look at me. Don't look so horrified. You're staring at yourself. You did this to me. Finally. Revenge. Finally. I meet my creator.
That is a wrinkle. in all of this. We don't really know in what sense he actually means that we are his creator. But he knows us very well, and by now it's starting to seem like maybe we have done something extremely bad to him and his people that led to us being here. And also, we're seeing this tracer effect on his green projectiles for the first time. A luminous, glowing green that is still very, very readable against the duller green of our arena. Also, we're going to see something cool here. As we charge that up, look at his health bar. That was most of the health bar in one shot. God, that perfect parry is so good. So this time we will get another version of this projectile, and this is my favorite one in the fight. God, that's a cool effect, and it makes dodging it really fun. So as for that glow up state, that is when you use the right stick in melee. It's used to charge up a critical hit that does 5 times as much damage. Instead of the function of that stick, which would normally be aiming and shooting like this. Oh, speaking of glowing, notice how my default blue glow is a little bit brighter now, and it flashed green when I parried, indicating that I got some health back from it. And I lost my glow when I took the hit. I'm now pretty dull until I get my rhythm back. And now we're bright again, and we're charging up. Get this sparking yellow for the critical hit. So your glow becomes this second, more diegetic HUD. It'll flash red when you're low on health. It'll tell you when you're doing really well. When you've successfully parried, you get so much visual feedback. That's a fun pattern. And then this phase, I believe, is when he will do... Nope, not yet. But we saw in the beginning with the cutscene, he had all of these clones that he could use. And this is the phase that he's actually going to start doing that. Yeah, this is the transition. Maybe not. Oh no, this is about to be the grab.
So much pain.
Wrong again. Here comes the grab. Oh! How do I keep missing that? Maybe I've forgotten the phase. Yeah, it must be the fourth phase he starts using the illusions. I only wanted to mention that you'll still see it. Because there's a way to skip the illusion phase. If you just stay right up in his face and stay aggressive, you can save a bunch of time. But then we won't see as much of his abilities. And the thing that makes this phase unique. So he won't do it initially, and the trick to skipping it is parrying all of the projectiles. And the fact that you can parry his projectiles actually becomes really important to know as you head into the last phase of the fight, his desperation phase we'll see later. It's important not just for the initial reflection, that won't matter in the desperation phase when he's invulnerable. But what does matter, you're seeing... Yeah, your massive fire and void shattered my world. Seeing those parried, you're seeing that they also dissipate that little tracer trail. And sometimes the trail will stick around, and sometimes the trail will dissipate pretty quickly on its own. In the last phase, it stays around. Stays around for a minute. God, that feels really good. So you know how anime is really big in France? And France is actually fairly... God damn! Got that rhythm going today. And how they're a fairly large producer of anime themselves. Well, the Game Bakers is a French studio, and one of the leads of Furi worked on a decently well-known French anime called Wakfu. Oh, this one's fun. I also forgot to point that out. You get this hallucinatory wobble whenever his green projectiles, be it the wall or the orbs, hit you. Your vision becomes blurred, blinded with toxic slime. It's a really cool way to represent that as a game mechanic. Even touching it. Now we have a slightly different illusion phase, with these ripples constantly. Not too bad so far. They'll start overlapping more and more, which, seeing him do this should also be making you think forward. You're learning this mechanic now, so that you have better mastery over it when it gets hard in a little bit. I was mentioning anime just because I wanted to list off some more of its influences, like Eva, Cowboy Bebop, and Escaflowne. And Akira. Definitely a lot of Akira in this. There are little elements of each stuffed in, plus Okazaki's work, of course, being a strong direct influence on top of working on the game itself. I don't have any reason to think there is Outlaw Star in here, but damn, it feels like there's some Outlaw Star in here. Sci-fi with magic, and it rules. The main character has a gun called a caster, and it shoots spells. It's so good. The spaceships have arms, so they can do melee fights and swing giant spaceship-sized axes and shit. So wild. Anchored by some really good character work. I've been rewatching it again recently, so I'm just bursting at the seams to talk about it. There's even an episode that's relevant here a little bit. It's just a big Moby Dick illusion, but in space. And obviously it's all about the self-destructive nature of revenge. So this is really interesting. This is our first hard desperation phase, I think. And I've already messed up pretty bad. I do at least have this open space here. It starts off really easy. I might actually lose a health bar here. Took 4 bosses, but yeah, that's gonna happen. So that means we have to restart the phase, which is okay because I can do it cleaner this time, hopefully.
Hurt, abandoned, betrayed.
You can have an easy time through most of this. If you just hang back here, you can parry that one, and then the waves, those green waves, don't actually reach all that far back, so you could just hang out back there through most of the phase. And I've already messed this up a little bit by failing to reflect that, so I'm boxed in this little vertical corridor I've created. I wanna, oh no! When they enclose you in these grids, you have so little room. You have to be usually at the far edge, so you don't mistakenly dodge into the opposite wall you've created. All these tracers, if I fail to mention, are doing damage when you walk into them. So I've made this super hard for myself. That's the first hard desperation phase. You have the trick to making that easier and cleaner is just to deal with the tracers. Parry them, don't get boxed in.
Will we share his fate, or will life take an unexpected turn? Hope comes from the strangest places. I thought about it for so long. Destruction of the world on one hand, but on the other, what about my world? Why should their world be more valuable than mine? I made my decision. I will free myself.
So, as the difficulty ramps up steadily, we could use this break. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.